hours
off work
into.
late and go home and paint little dudes until 4 in the morning.
Pretend like you don't hate your.
There's definitely a lot of moments where I feel like I've, rolled a 1 where I get kind of lost in the sauce of doing.
Earlier.
Oh god, fucking Food Wars.
What if we did like food hentai?
Yeah, we're breaking Outback secrets here, but all of their steaks come in repackaged, and you open the package, and then you have to shape them to look like the steak that you know
It's not that I enjoy the taste of alcohol. I don't drink because I want to. I drink because I fucking have to.
Yeah.
And granted, I had a cocaine and energy drink problem at the time.
You hear that, Mom? I don't have a problem.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for more Salt podcast about the people that keep the service industry moving forward. Today, I am joined by my good friends Lizz and Michel, former line cooks and restaurant hoodlums, and my good buddy Quade.
Why'd you hesitate?
Because I was gonna call you Quaderade. You're Quaderade. I'm sorry.
Call me by my gamer tag in real life. It's
You're
weird.
Quaderade. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Dirty.
You are. Experienced line cook, good friend of mine. I gave you your job.
You did.
You're grateful.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm grateful.
And I guess today we're talking about shit that we do outside of work that keeps us from going crazy. Dude, they'll censor it. It's fine. So, video games, movies. We did a nerd episode already once before with you and Joe.
Yeah.
That was fun. And so, yeah, I guess we're going to do a continuation of that.
From what I understand, Quaid is actually going to fill us in properly on Warhammer after I kind of went on a little bit of a tirade asking if there was a real game attached to it because
you were very passionate about that.
I just didn't know. I wanted to know, and you brought in your expert.
It is my understanding also that it's not uncommon for Warhammer players to get together, set up an entire battlefield, and then go, I don't want to do this.
Which, fair.
That's
I get it.
happened a couple
Sometimes the
of
fun
times.
is just setting up.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who does a lot of crafts, sometimes the fun is just the craft itself, or like setting it up and getting to see the finished product, seeing the satisfaction of your work.
We try to be
in
like
full.
thematic with it, so we'll get our board set up and we do most of our own terrain. We have like store-bought and stuff we build ourselves, and it's played on a fairly big board. They've changed it in the newest couple of editions where now like it's... So when you play, you have army sizes, and how they balance it is they assign a point value to it. And so it's a thing of like, I'm going to bring 2,000 points of Space Marines, and you're going to bring 2,000 points of Orcs. And that's going to look very different on the table because like certain units are cheaper, yada, yada, yada. Like 2,000 points of Custodians is going to be like 20 guys. And then 2,000 points of Space Marines is going to be like 40 guys in a tank. It just depends. And if it's a guard, it's like 300 guys and 10 tanks.
Yeah, so someone who's like kind of has an idea of like MMOs to a degree and essentially they all have their own cost associated with it. So depending on the cost of the ranks,
it's kind of power scaling a little bit because
Yeah.
the whole shtick, like a Space Marine can kill 100 men, then like a Custodian can kill 100 Space Marines, yada yada.
while we were bullshitting earlier, I made mention of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and it's a kind of a similar concept to that. So like there's a lot of different tie-ins. Tie-ins isn't the right word, but like there's a lot of similar products isn't the right word either, but games out there that
And they have other kind of, because people who want to get into the hobby, the first thing I hear is obviously like, I would love to get into Warhammer, but it's really expensive because it is.
It is. I've even just like browsed the models. The models themselves can get very expensive even for just one of them, and starter kits can be hundreds of dollars just to get.
The box sets are actually a good value most of the time.
In which I can totally see that because you get a lot in there, but it can be daunting for someone who goes in and be like, I want to get into something, and you see a large, a large dollar sign on something that's considered a starter kit for something, but
it's very harrowing.
But when you really look at the value, like you said, yes, it is still a great value to get into something that you could get hundreds upon thousands of hours.
Get off work
into.
late and go home and paint little dudes until 4 in the morning.
Pretend like you don't hate your life.
Exactly, that's the whole goal. Something you can just drown in so that you enjoy life.
Yeah, and I recommend to people because they have other like box games, not just like 40k, and there's a whole fantasy one. They also have the rights to do the Lord of the Rings tabletop games. They also do like the whole Middle Earth IP.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
we
that
actually
was a
have
thing.
I think it's the Osgiliath terrain that we use, because that's kind of the fun thing with 40k is there's a lot of like Gothic architecture and like old kind of feudal castles that show up
It's a
with
very
tanks and laser
cool
guns.
aesthetic to it too.
And this is one of my favorite models. They have
Well,
mounted cavalry,
Like,
which is wild.
tell me about some of these guys you brought here because they look really, really cool. I have been
Okay.
eyeing them since I got here, and
yeah, so I can.
I don't want to just touch another man's figurines without permission.
So this is one.
It's
He's still in
definitely-
progress, but that's from my Death Corps of Krieg. That's one of my Death Riders. So they're like
Ooh.
mounted
They kinda
cavalry.
hold 'em up there.
They have that one I did. That's the one I painted the most because he's kind of my test one. My color scheme. I'm actually basing them off of information from my parents. They're a homebrew. Their regiment numbers are off my
That
parents'
is
birth years.
How does
Badass.
okay, so when you have units on the tabletop, you're in a match.
Yes.
You roll dice for movement, and probably also your attack and stuff like that.
You don't roll for movement, so each unit will have a movement allowance. Like your standard infantry movement allowance is about 6 inches. If they're like big heavy boys, it's 5 inches. But you can advance, and that you will roll for. You'll roll, I think it's 1 or 2 d6s, and then I haven't played in a little while because my friend group hasn't had time to get together and do it. But you'll add that to the movement allowance. So sometimes it's like, oh hell yeah, I got a 12-inch move, and other times it's like, oh cool, I got 7 inches. I'm not any closer to doing that. And then there's takeaways from that too. Like unless you have a special rule that says you can do it, certain types of guns you can't fire if you advance, so you can't shoot that phase.
All right.
And you can't do a charge because it moves in. You have command phase, which is if you have any kind of special army-wide rules that you want to trigger. A lot of times it will tell you like you can only do this in your command phase. And you also have army-wide special abilities called stratagems that both players can use, and you have a certain allotment of points that you build up. Well, sometimes it's something as simple as like pop smoke on a vehicle where it makes them like -1 to hit when they're trying to shoot it. And other times there's stuff with like I have a great one with the Death Corps actually where you can fire artillery into your own guys. Like if they're locked up in melee combat with something, you're typically not allowed to shoot into that combat, but they have a stratagem that's specific to the Death Corps because they're big on self-sacrifice, where I can just fire artillery like into my own guys if they're tied up with an enemy unit.
So then it allows you to like attack both in a way. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Definitely invest in some models and get a more salt tabletop channel started.
But we
Play
set
some,
up.
play some 40k, play some D&D.
We had a
You
maintenance
know.
guy walk in on one of our games. We were doing a four-way game.
We'll do we could do a service industry.
I don't know if
D&D
I'll financially
campaign.
recover from that.
I mean, you can 3D print them. There's
Don't give me another reason to buy a 3D
Hold-
printer.
hold
I've
on.
already been
Hold-
contemplating
no,
it
hold
too
on.
much. Well, no, I want to buy a 3D resin printer. That's really what I have been contemplating for far too long, and I don't need another reason
the-
on the pile to
the
buy
tank one
one.
or the coil one.
The tank one.
Yeah, that's that. I have an what is mine? Mine's an Anycubic.
Oh, that's.
It wasn't super expensive.
I know they're not that expensive. I
This
just.
is riveting content.
Shut up, Josh. You have no
literally
idea how
dozens of
awesome.
us.
Literally
This
the
thing
Shoot
is
Repeat
so
episode.
awesome. If you go look up the videos of a resin 3D printer, they are
Yeah,
so amazing.
if I get a 3D printer, I'm gonna start printing.
Bootleg Warhammer.
Do you know the amount of Pokemon like
do that.
paraphernalia I would have? It's insane.
Oh no!
man.
I printed basically my friend's entire Tyranid army for him, like something like probably $3,700 worth of models. The most infuriating thing is that it will tell you, like you put the resin in the software that it uses. You put in like how much the whole like amount of resin costs you, how much is in the tank, which it'll measure, and then it will tell you how much it costs you to print that model. I'm really, really particular about how my models come out, so I've only printed myself a few things, mostly like accessories and stuff like that. But I have one squad that I printed, and they come in boxes of 3 guys. You can have up to 6 in a squad, and I printed them all out. They are $50 a box, or they were at the time. I think now they might be up to $60 because of like import price changes, because they come from England. It cost, I think, like $3.14 to print all 6 of those.
Oh,
That's
which
wild.
is what,
Yeah, I mean,
there's-
I've been looking at models on Amazon, and looking at some.
If I had a 3D resin printer, I would not have a flat surface in my house anymore. Everything would just be covered in figurines or just something like.
Yeah, that's what
I found a
I
few
already
sets
make
for like
resin
$30,
crafts,
and then
like that. The last thing I need is a 3D resin printer. Like, it.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. You have to learn to control it, and if you run it too much, the fumes will make you feel.
Well, and that's fine. If I die from the
That's
resin
what I'm
fumes,
waiting
it's
on.
okay.
I didn't know they were that bad.
for us.
Yeah, say if I take us both out, then
I'll go
the
hang out
cats
in the
will eat
room
us and
next
it's
to
fine.
I had COVID for the first week that I got the printer, so I was running it in my room with the window cracked
Oh
all
god!
night.
So you didn't even.
No, I had no idea that it was that bad, and then I got over it, and later I went to run a print, and I'm in my room, I'm like, holy shit, dude,
So
I feel funny.
This is awesome.
how does thriving in the chaos that is a kitchen, and then going home and then indulging in this sort of chaos as a tabletop game, how does that compare?
Honestly,
I feel like there's a lot of similarities. I've always compared.
I mean, I
It's
would throw that
working
quote
on
at
a
you
battlefield.
whenever we worked together, and we'd have we were gonna have an insanely busy day because there was a Queen's Market and then 3 other resis, and then we had 4 pretty good sized caterings that day
Yeah.
at the same time, and you just be like, "Quaid, we're so fucked." Today's gonna suck. And
Today's gonna suck, but
I
we're
would throw
gonna
that
make
Black
it.
Templars quote at you. I'd be like, "It matters not. Whether we fight and live on this world or we fight and die, all that ever changes is the color of the sky we fight under and the shade of the blood on our blades."
Fucking
You
nerd.
just need a big pen. You just need a good speech. That's all you need.
That's a lot of what.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into
You gotta
Warhammer
be a
lore.
chaplain.
You
Yeah,
remember
no, we're not doing that this
Independence
We're,
Day?
episode.
Yeah,
we're not doing Warhammer lore today. That's just
We will not go quietly into the night.
we're not going to open that box.
There's definitely a lot of moments where I feel like I've rolled a 1 where I get kind of lost in the sauce of doing because I'm the grill guy where I work, and the other stations have
Oh, that is delicious.
when we get really busy, they'll get 2 people to that station to help them run it, and I kind of get left to my own devices. But now it's just a thing of I've learned to kind of bear that burden, and guys will pop over and kind of help me a little bit. But it's a thing of I've got to make this taco bundle, and I've got to do all 6 of these burgers at once, and then they want that steak order too, and then I'm like, oh god, I need to flip that steak,
Yeah.
and it'll get a little fucked, but I'm able to save it because I'm like, you can't see that under the demi-glaze, it's fine.
It's the chaos
And-
of the day.
Yeah, and you learn to eat it and kind of ride it out, and it is kind of that vibe of reading the books and the whole siege thing. And it's just we're outmanned and outgunned, but
Yeah.
we got to make it.
Yeah, you really enjoy more the lore and the stories that come with Warhammer than
Yeah, I look at it for inspiration. It's the same reason my friend gets on to me for watching way too many oh god, what's the shonen animes. I'm because I need to believe in myself, bro.
You're an anime. Y'all are anime nerds, right?
Yeah, I mean,
see,
well-
anime was
I get
never
it.
my thing, but you guys know anime.
Yeah. I would say, and I get I tend to be kind of an all-over anime person, but I get the shonen anime thing too. There's a lot of good, believe in yourself,
You're-
triumph over all this adversity, and
That's all
ultimately
you
I will
fucking
come.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. I have had
Dude,
it in me
believe in
this
the me
whole
that
time.
believes in you. Go
Yeah.
on.
We
Yeah,
were
yeah.
talking about Food Wars earlier.
Oh
That-
god, fucking Food Wars. I started actually rewatching through that show not that long ago, and I forgot how much I loved it, but it wasn't until rewatching that first episode again that I sat there through that opening scene. I was like, fuck, I forgot how horny this show was.
No, yeah, because he asked me that. He was like, isn't that where they
They're coming
And
over
Yeah.
the food.
I was
Yeah,
trying
they
to
are.
I keep trying to explain the show to people, and I was like, I don't know how they're gonna explain it to people. Then their clothes burst off, but you never see actual nudity.
Well, because
Everyone's just sitting there in ecstasy,
was it the
enjoying
creators
how
or the
good the
animators
food
that
is.
they
There's no
originally did
nipples.
hentai, and they were like, what if we did food hentai?
Yeah.
Basically, and it was fun, and all the cooking stuff in it's legit.
Yeah,
but I used to when I got
made
into it,
food from the show, and it's delicious.
I lived alone.
But my clothes have never burst off, and I'm kind of disappointed. I've never come from the food, and I don't know what
Well,
I'm doing wrong.
That's I don't know, buy a longer sausage. I don't know. I do feel bad sometimes for my female coworkers when shit gets rough in the kitchen, just because coming from a combat sports background. I did MMA for a long time, and then played football, and just used to being in shitty conditions overall. Once it got super hot in the kitchen, bad, AC wasn't working, and 2 of my female supervisors came over to help me, and one of them nearly passed out. She had to go we put her in a corner and put ice on her and in front of a fan, and then the other chick hung in for a little bit, and then she went and threw up because she was so like overheating.
Yeah.
And I just gave her water, and I was just there the whole time sweating
Do you remember
bullets.
that day?
But I'm from like the desert,
when
so
we did
I guess it rolls back to like.
yeah.
we did meat fight, and we'd set up those tents outside. We were at Community Beer Company, and we hosted this thing called meat fight. And
It's not what it sounds like.
yeah, no, it was so all
Sounds
these different restaurants from around DFW gathered at our brewery, and we all set up like these individual tents. Each tent had an open face grill and a flat top underneath of it, propane powered, right?
Propane.
This was what, August?
I think it was like beginning of August.
Something like that. It was already like 104 outside.
No, I think it was July because it was right before I started working
Man,
there. I did my stage the week before.
No,
I think.
I thought you were with us for that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
No, I did my stage like the week before because I started in July.
I think you made my barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I did.
But it was hot. It was like 104 out that day. And then we're under these tents, and so under the tents with the equipment going, it was easily like 130 under those tents.
I could see that, yeah, with
right?
all of that
It was, and we're all bunched out in the beer garden out there, right? And so like there's a bunch of us out there with like this, and it was so fucking hot. We were like dunking bandanas into ice water, wrapping around our head, and then having to like in shifts go back into the brewery to cool down.
Yeah.
You know, and if you went and you sat down in the walk-in, you'd get sick because you're dropping your temp too quickly. Like it was ridiculous. We raised over $43,000 that day for MS survivors or people living with MS.
Right on. Okay.
Which was very cool.
I was gonna say I think that's kind of a permanent situation. Isn't it?
Yeah. When you have it, you're surviving with it.
You have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're surviving with it.
Yeah, you just have
and they do a lot of stuff like that out there. But dude,
yeah.
it was a miserable experience, but the outcome was really cool.
You gotta embrace the suck, dude.
You gotta embrace the suck.
You know, it's when I was supervising at the dining hall, it was the same. I mean, I do the same thing at Community where come to me because we're gonna get hammered. And they're like, dude, we're so fucked. And I'm like, well, sink or swim, we're here. We got to do it either way. Succeed or fail. We got to go. We got to send it.
Y'all used to work in like shitty franchise restaurants, Outback, right?
I say I've worked in a few of them. Say worked in some like bistro style restaurants, but yeah, honestly, I think some of my best memories were from Outback because I went back to it twice. To be completely honest with you,
I do love me a
but the
a
second
bloomin'
time
onion.
wasn't as
Get me a
was as
bloomin' onion.
long because
from on the bar.
so
I would love to be Australian.
the first time I worked there was after my car accident. So I came to Outback with a newly discovered panic disorder.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that was my first panic attack. Wasn't actually at Outback, but my second one was, and that was fun having on the line.
Mm-hmm.
I
So-
can only imagine.
It's really fun.
Yeah, at least by the time it happened, I knew by that time what a panic attack was. But I pretty much ran off the line. Thankfully, not in the middle of a rush, but ran off the line. Had to go sit in the walk-in, and poor Santos, the little dishwasher who spoke no English, walks in, like bringing in like a cold stack of plates or something, and like sees me like just
Hyperventilating in the
yeah,
walk-in.
and like comes in with like a cup of Coke, being like, "You okay?" And like like other people soon come in. Like I guess he tried to say something to somebody, and more people come in. Like they find out what's happening. I'm okay. Eventually it goes away. And I yeah, so this is apparently a thing I have now from the car accident I had like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Gets better, but
I mean,
At the same time, fuck Santos, because he fucking stole my Yeti.
he also stole
Fuck
food.
that guy.
He turned out to not be great, but there's actually another funny story with that because fuck a couple of the other people up there because at first, so I didn't know Spanish very well by the time I was working there because I was working
this
at
is
Bistro.
some true restaurant
Yeah,
shenanigans
so
right
just
here.
to let you know, by that point I had worked a lot of line jobs, so I wasn't very well versed in Spanish by that point. I'd worked
Right.
bistro jobs, so a lot of working with white people.
Quaid knows a little bit of Spanish.
By this point I'm very well versed in kitchen Spanish and just enough Spanish in general. But when I started working there, I was informed that this guy's name was Sancho, not Santos.
Oh no.
So I was calling this man Sancho for like at least a good month until this other guy named Caesar working there heard me call him that. Now Caesar I had worked with at another restaurant, at Movie Tavern, another place I had talked about before.
Yeah.
And while working there I had picked up minimal kitchen Spanish, but not as much as I picked up at Outback. Yeah, so Caesar heard me call Santos Sancho, and he's like, what did you just call him? I'm like, Sancho, his name. And he's like, no, honey.
Oh.
His name is Santos.
Sancho means something else.
Yeah, and he's like, and when he asked me, he was like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, no. And he's like, that means the other man. And he's like, who told you that? And you want to know who told me that was his name? The white fucking kitchen manager. And I look at this man, and he's like giggling his ass off as he runs into the manager's office, and I fucking go after him. And like,
Jesus.
I was
Josh would
so
have me-
mad. But that explains why Santos was so nice to me. Because I was fucking calling that man Sancho for so long.
Josh would have me translate for him at the dining hall sometimes. I had a good friend there that didn't speak much English.
Spanish is not my thing. Like, I know a couple of words, but
I taught you some.
You taught me a little bit.
It was a Herculean task, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, man, picking up a Spanish is hard for me.
no. Well, first I taught him. I was like, to be able to teach yourself, just like if ever there's something you're like, well, I don't know how to say this. You say, "Cómo se dice?" Like, how do you say? And then like point at the thing or hold it up. And he was like, "Cómo se dice?" And I was like, no,
I was
Josh.
trashed when
He
you
was
taught me
very
this.
drunk.
But somehow I retained that bit of information. And I was like, I can remember that.
That makes me think a lot of like when...
I say Spanish stuff like I'm so white when I say
So-
it. Como se dice? What's that? That scene from Inglourious Bastards?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
So I worked at Outback long enough to move from night line cook to morning prep and line cook at night.
Morning
So
prep's where you learn it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got him on as morning prep because he also worked nights somewhere else, where he still works. But now
Fuck
day.
that place.
Yeah. But anyway, so he got well acquainted with the other morning prep staff, which was also various forms of South American.
I was the only white guy. If
Yeah.
That's what you're.
And so
implying.
I introduced him to all of them, tried to teach him the little bit of like kitchen Spanish I knew as well, and like tried to let them know like, hey, he is white as fuck, like be gentle.
And just a little autistic.
Little's an
Smidgy,
understatement.
Smidgy.
I mean, look at him.
Smidgy. No, did
But yeah, so them trying to teach him Spanish was some of the funniest shit I have seen. Like,
Who
and
tried to teach me shit?
Caesar, I know at one point
Well, maybe a
tried.
little bit.
He
Maybe
took
a
pity
little
on you at first, and then he just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because, I was.
Gustavo never
tried.
tried.
No, me and Gustavo had a very good relationship. We barely talked.
But
So
honestly,
y'all how long did y'all do the Outback thing?
I did it for probably over a span of 4 years because I worked there. He did it. Well,
I was there for 3 years, but it was a very weird 3 years.
yeah.
Because one kitchen manager just used me to do all the shit he didn't want to do. So he was like, I don't like doing the truck order and all this other stuff. And he's like, you seem pretty good with computers. And all of a sudden, I'm doing the truck order. So, like, at one point, I was coming in just to do the truck order and help out with dishes a little bit. Like, I was getting 20 hours a week just doing truck orders
What
and
the
helping with dishes
fuck?
a little bit. And then at one point, he left, and they didn't have the kitchen manager. So I was doing the truck orders and helping shape meat. So I got, like, a little, like, run course about, like, this is how you shape meat. So I kind of
Outback shapes their steaks, FYI.
Yeah,
What
Outback
the
shapes their
Yeah,
steaks.
all their steaks
'Cause
come
all their
in
steaks come in
pre-packed.
looking like shit.
Yeah,
What
come
are
in pre-packages. You take them out of those packages,
You
and then
gotta,
you
like,
shape
work
them to
'em.
look like
You
steaks.
gotta work them.
We are 100%
You work them into
serious.
shapes that look like
Outback,
steak.
we're breaking Outback secrets here, but all of their steaks come in come pre-packaged, and you open the package, and then you have to shape them to look like the steak that you know it to look like.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a manager duty, but since I was doing the truck orders, I was the
mean,
manager.
Hold on, I have questions.
So you get a package of sirloins, and it's like maybe 10 sirloins in a package You then
Who's
open
y'all's who do they order from?
Cisco, right?
Yeah, I think they ordered food.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Joe.
Okay.
Well, what it was former. Joe's off camera right now.
Now, here you want
but
to hear with Outback? Wait to hear my history with Outback. So, I went in as a line cook.
Well, spill the secrets.
Started as a line cook. Worked my way from that to... Honestly, a lot of shit happened while I was working at Outback.
Hey,
and
can I get a claw?
Yeah,
Sorry.
go for it. And they worked.
What do we got?
They were both...
I will also take a claw.
One of the shittiest places
Just
I worked, and
not-
one of the most accommodating
Surprised me.
somehow. But so I started as nighttime kitchen, worked to prep, had one of the weirdest yet most wholesome relationships with two people working there.
You're awesome, thank you.
And so at one point, while I was working there, I was working both prep and
one more.
line.
One more.
And one night I was working and bent over my station, and I had a weird pain in my side. I was like, huh. No, it was the middle of the day. I was working morning. I was working lunch.
I wanted the watermelon.
And I was working a double that day.
That's why I took it.
And
I'm leaving that
I
alone.
leaned over my station. I was like, that hurts. That's weird. Kept going through the
you're doing
shift.
the
And as I kept going, it got progressively worse and worse. And then eventually, I was at the end of my shift, and I was in fucking tears every time I leaned over my station. Now, at that point, I worked cold, so I was making salads and also working the fryer since it's lunch. So, like, there's literally me working cold and fry and one guy working grill. I'm fixing up my station in tears. My manager comes to me and she's like, all right, you're going to be out for an hour and then come back. And I'm like, no, I'm going to the fucking hospital. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I have been in tears this entire shift and you haven't paid enough attention to notice a goddamn thing. Turns out my gallbladder was entirely full of gallstones and I needed emergency surgery.
I feel like I might remember that.
Yeah. I was
supposed
laid
to
up
do
in
that.
bed
You
for
weren't
about...
doing so hot.
No, it came out of fucking nowhere. Like, I don't remember a thing. I went to the hospital. Yeah, they told me I needed emergency surgery.
That's
Within
crazy.
24 hours, I was waking up in the hospital.
Yeah, she's texting me
So
like,
this is-
I don't know, I'm feeling a pain in my side till like, I think I'm going to the hospital.
Dude,
like,
this is I didn't okay, so like crazy shit I've seen online. Miller. Mm-hmm. Good friend of ours. Known him for a long time. I had gotten Miller hired on at one of my old places. And Miller has what is it? Epilepsy, he has seizures. That's what that
Epilepsy.
and so and like he always has. Like anyone who's known him any length of time knows that Miller has these seizures sometimes. Dude, awesome line cook, dude. Great fucking line cook. But like I remember one day we're on the line and I just looked over at him and like he just didn't look good. And I was like, "You good, buddy?" And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, all right, And I turned around for a second and I looked back over at him and I just kind of watched him kind of move real weird, and he dipped his hand into the fryer and then he hit the fucking floor and I was like, God damn it. And I dragged Miller into the back of the kitchen, into the cooler while he seized out. And eventually he came back to, and he's just like, where am I? And I was like, you're in the walk-in. I got you. And he's like, did I flop out?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, you did.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, you did.
It's cool, but yeah.
And he was good for a second, and then he had another one, and then he had another one, and then another one. And so I called his wife, and she had to come get. But dude, there were times where this would happen. He'd hit the floor, we'd drag him into the back, and then he'd be like, no, I'm good, and he'd take 20 minutes, and then he'd come right back to the fucking line. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, you just had a seizure. He's like, yeah, but I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Well, see, and here's the thing. Honestly, I would have kept going if my manager wasn't such a bitch. Because I think I had maybe tried to say something at first when I first started noticing the pain, and she was just like, nah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You can keep working. And so I think, when she came back to me, was like, so you're going to come back for the second half of your shift, is when I was like, no, I'm going to the fucking hospital. I think maybe it was the fact that she had been such a was why I was so adamant about going to the hospital. And when they came back with your gallbladder's full of stones, you have to have emergency surgery, I was like, all right, cool.
That's wild.
And I was laid up for 2 weeks. They created a whole new position. They didn't have a silver roller. They created a silver roller position for me so I could keep my job and keep working and just stand somewhere
Because
and
they
sit.
couldn't fire you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's the least they could do.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Well, so
what it
here's the
was. They
thing.
couldn't legally fire you.
Well, so here's the
without
thing.
getting
Let
a
me continue
lawsuit.
because of me, there was a lot of interesting things that continued to spiral around that Outback. I then got him hired on, and things continued to happen. So they created the silver roller position for me while I was recovering because I couldn't lift a lot of weight. Like they literally had to have people bring me silverware because I couldn't lift anything. Once I was well enough to go back onto the line and like lift things again, but I still needed people to like move certain amounts of weight for me. They hired my little brother to fill the silverware position because he needed a job. They didn't need to keep that position, but I was able to convince them to hire him on. So they filled in a position they didn't need for me. I continued to make people do stuff for me long after I didn't need people to lift stuff for me. I made them feel so bad for me for so long.
It's done.
While
That's
I was
fucked
working
up.
there was this guy
Milk
named
that shit.
Chris who worked Fryer Station in the evenings. And then there was also a guy named... He was my height, too.
Yeah, he was your height and a brick shit house. Yeah.
God,
Muscle
I want to
hamster.
say it was Keith was the other guy's name. But Chris was younger than I was, and Keith was older than me. And somehow, Keith was our daughter that me and Chris somehow had. And this was the weirdest yet somehow most wholesome relationship
That was weird.
that
That's
spawned
weird.
from
That's
this
weird.
place. When I left, Chris was this... Okay, imagine a black gentleman who is my height, but somehow twice my size of pure muscle.
Okay.
That was
Pure
Chris.
muscle.
Worked the Fry Station.
He
But
was hot, dude.
somehow the most wholesome guy you could ever meet in your life. He was so sweet. I love Chris to this day. And when I left, that guy picked me up and twirled me in the fucking air, and I'm like, I am never gonna feel this weightless ever again in my fucking life.
You ever seen an officer and a gentleman? Every now and again, I picture him just like carrying me out of my work. And everybody being jealous as he walks me out in his arms.
But there was also several drug scandals at Outback.
That does not surprise me at all.
I mean, it's a kitchen.
I mean, yeah, it's a professional
Like,
kitchen.
that's-
There's
the
gonna be
front
some
of
drug
house-
scandals. That seems to be par for the course for
Yeah.
the service industry.
Drugs
You
in a
ever
kitchen?
worked in a kitchen
Never.
not on cocaine?
fringe elements and all that. I was reading some interesting statistics earlier. I think it's like 60% of people that work in the service industry have
God damn it,
some
that's
sort of substance abuse problem.
Of course, they're in the
Yeah,
service.
yeah,
industry.
we're in the service industry, and
How
like
else do you deal with it? Like,
Yeah.
That's what we were
honestly.
talking about in another
it's
one.
not that we.
Like,
It's
paint little plastic
seriously,
spacemen.
Substance is a lot
it's
of how
it's
people
not
deal
that I
with it,
it's
Yeah.
not that I enjoy the taste of alcohol. I don't drink because I want to. I drink because I fucking have to.
Yeah,
and
I drink
think
because it dulls the part of my brain that cares. And
You
if
know.
if that part of my brain goes, I'm fucked.
well, yeah.
You hear that, Mom? I don't have a problem.
Oh yeah, no, of course not.
But yeah, drug scandals. Sorry, went off on a tangent.
Oh yeah, say there's a few there definitely that I remember. Obviously the biggest ones were in the kitchen, but I definitely remember. God, what was the big one that happened with the front of house?
Look, I can catch you doing a
Oh,
line of
I
blow
know
in
it
the
was
back
cocaine related,
and
but I
probably
don't
let that
remember,
go,
right?
right? But
mean,
if I
most
catch you
servers-
smoking meth in the alley out back, like I'm gonna have to
See,
fire
okay,
you.
for what it's worth,
right?
there was never
There's
anything
like
like
levels
that.
to the shit,
It was,
right?
there was never anything like that. It
Like,
was
hey,
all
don't fucking
restaurant,
do that.
Like
What about
normal
heroin?
restaurant stuff.
Negative.
I
What
will
a
say
nasal
though,
congestion. Like
I will forever blame front of house for losing our goddamn free food. We used to get a free employee meal, and then it became 50%
That was
off.
the beer at community for us.
Everyone boarding shift
God.
ruined that.
We used to be allowed to take home a case of beer.
that had to have
Every-
lasted
Okay.
so not very long.
No.
Do you remember how
No, we
I
got it
left
back. We get 2
Outback
free
the
cases a week
first
now.
time?
Huh?
Do you remember how I left Outback the first
Dude, it used to
time?
be a 6-pack a day.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, it
you
did.
kinda
Those
just
were the
walked
God.
out 'cause they
What a
were
time to be
fucking
alive.
with that. I don't remember.
My
Was it?
job was
I
fueling
know I
my
definitely did the
alcoholism.
second
It's
time.
great.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And honestly, they made good beer.
You fucking had me give you my 6-pack sometimes. 'Cause I don't drink
Sometimes.
that much
I
beer.
say the second time I worked for Outback, I walked out though because I was running their entire delivery division.
Ooh, I love a good walkout story.
Well, so
Walkout stories. What you got?
I can't remember how I left the first time. I know I left
Still
I'm
had
pretty sure the
dreams.
first time I left amicably because I was still working in the kitchen and stuff like that. But the second time I was working at Outback, I came to it back as a second job, working as a server because I was like, I just need cash.
Yeah.
I was working at Albertsons actually as the deli manager
Yeah,
at the time.
because surprising as it may be to some of you, if you work in the service industry, you're not making an overwhelming amount of money.
So just to
All
let
it
the
costs
people
is
know,
your soul.
Barely a living wage.
I worked a lot of service industry jobs, not all kitchen, but a lot of service industry jobs.
You've been back of house, front of house, and kind of everything in between.
Been all over that.
Honestly,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Say up until about 4 years ago, I was pure service industry as far as restaurants and like customer service in grocery stores. Like I did pretty much, if you think of a restaurant and a grocery store, I did everything there: front of house, back of house, meat market, produce, deli, front office, back office, receiving, anything you can think of in either of those places.
Scheduling.
I fucking did it. Like I, for some reason, hated myself enough to do all of these positions. Now I'm in an office job because I wanted to get out of all that. It still calls to me.
I
Don't
try-
tell me why.
dude,
There's a
I
broken
literally
part of my
call to
brain
you
that tells me I want. Yeah.
Every couple of years or so, I try to lure you back in.
And every so often,
know,
there's
like-
that part of my brain that's like,
Someday. What did I tell you?
That was an alarm.
Birth control.
It was an alarm. My birth control.
You know what?
It's
Fair
the
enough.
anti-baby pill telling me I need to take it.
Yeah,
That-
so you
All
can't
right.
be mad
I
because
support
we
this.
can't raise a kid.
Yeah, no, please
You
don't.
can't be a please don't. Yeah, you're damn right. Please don't.
But anyways, so when I came, so the second time I went to Outback, I was doing it as a second job. I was already working a first job in the mornings where I already had a horrible drug problem because service
As
industry.
a lot of us do.
So I
have.
went back to being a server. And at the
Which is
time,
fun,
Outback had
run
just
out.
decided they were going to do delivery. And guess what? As a seasoned server and someone that Outback trusted, they're like, guess what? You're going to run our delivery division. And I let them know that this is a second job. I only want to work so many hours a week. I only want to work, so many
Bet.
hours.
Bet. We
And,
got you.
Yeah, with so many service jobs, guess what? They're like,
bet.
Yeah. And, I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Don't worry.
that is what this industry demands of you, though. Like,
Yeah. So
like because of where I'm at now as a chef in my career, like if I get some kid that comes to me and asks for like all these very specific days off, like I'm far less likely to hire that person.
yeah,
You
and
know, because
honestly,
I need people that are available to make this happen, because if I don't have the hands, then it's
and
gonna
I
fail.
totally get that, and that's the thing. You don't hire the person, or you don't tell them that you can meet those requirements,
Yeah.
and then do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
That's
No.
the courtesy of it.
Right.
And that was the problem. Is Outback told me, and I trusted them because I had worked with them for so long, and they had been accommodating to me in the past. And maybe that was the problem. Is because they had been so accommodating in the past, they thought they could screw me over this time.
No problem. No
That
problem.
they were overscheduling me. They were wanting me to work till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And since I was the assistant deli manager, I was having 5:30 opens.
Yeah.
And granted, I had a cocaine and energy drink problem at the time, so the 5:30 open was not a problem.
Irrelevant.
It was not a problem. I wasn't wanting to do that. So there was
Yeah.
one time they scheduled me and I just stopped showing up, and nobody even bothered to call me to be like, hey, you're not showing up. I think they understood. So I don't know if they were doing it to get rid of me, or they just
maybe.
realized it wasn't
'Cause, like,
the hassle.
You know,
But-
They probably just realized, like, we pushed the boundary too far. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also, I
Oopsie.
think they knew me well enough because it was, I mean, I'm not going to say your name at the risk of not wanting to fully expose anything like that, but you know who the front of house manager was. They understand that I was not the person to fuck with.
Yeah.
So it was probably one of those things where she was like, okay, yeah, we went too far. She's not coming back. We fucked
Yeah.
up. So, yeah, I walked out on that one. But
And
good
as-
walkout stories. What do you
yeah.
got?
Quaid, you ever walked out of a job, buddy?
No, I haven't.
Really?
I almost have several times. But the whole like mama didn't raise no quitter thing.
Fair enough.
I did have talk about the scheduling thing. Yeah, exactly. My first food service job, I worked at this place called Al. It's gone now. Al's Diner. It was like this little family-run restaurant that was a revamp of a restaurant that was down the road from me that I grew up with. And when I went in there to apply for the job, I was doing full-on MMA. So I picked up a gym in Abilene while I was home for the summer, and I was training there. And when I came in, I said, and they were like, well, what's your availability? I said, my availability is all day until I need to be out of here by like 7:15 so I can run to Abilene and train. And I was talking to the head chef, Say. He was this little Mexican dude. He was great. He was really cool with me. And Say was like, why the fuck would I hire you if you're going to do that? I said, sir, because I'm a solid worker and I can get all my, if we close like at 7, like we normally do, like all my shit will be done and I will be ready to go out the door at 7:15. Like, I will knock it out.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like stood my ground on that and wasn't like, well, I guess I can move it around. Just like, no, dude, because this shit's important to me and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
So like, I will also make my time valuable here.
That goes back to like having those things that kind of keep us sane.
It did get me out. It did get me out of work one day because one day we were sparring and I misread a punch that was coming at me and I ducked and I caught just full shin across the face. And my face swelled up really bad. Like I looked
Rocked your
like
shit?
I looked like, no, it didn't rock my shit really. I've only been knocked out twice. I've got a pretty good chin. And those were some hellacious hits that I took that did put me out. But it was I looked like Sloth from the Goonies a little bit. Just very, hey you guys. I was fine. Just my face was fucked up. And I come into work and they're like, I'm a server. And they're like,
yeah, no, absolutely not, bro.
Yeah, that's
Go home.
what the
Hey, you
fuck happened to
guys,
you?
do
No.
wanna receive
Yeah.
specials?
You know,
Yeah,
and
no, go home.
well, my homegirl that's a server, like I was like, maybe we can fix it with like makeup, and she tried to put like concealer on it, and then I just looked like the dude from Mask, like it didn't help at all, and so they were
From
like,
Goonies
are
to
you
Mask.
in pain? And I'm like, I mean, only if I poke it, like it's a bruise, and like just like go home, put some ice on it, like will you be better tomorrow? I'm like probably. So I just went home and like duct taped a fucking bag of like frozen peas to the side of my head and played Xbox all day. It was great. And then I jacked up my shins like the next summer. I was doing Muay Thai and we did shin training where they like hit you in the shins with like mop handles and stuff. And it was my first time seriously doing that. And I worked in the oil field. And the next day, like I couldn't really walk. And I was like, I'm gonna have to fucking call in. And my dad's like, if you call in over this, like you're not doing
Nope.
that shit anymore. And I was like, fuck it.
Don't
okay,
call
fine.
into work, die at work, and be a man.
Yeah. So I go to work
The American
and
way.
Be a
we
man,
were-
die at work.
This is sort of it is a service we're providing. It's not food related, but we would fix pumps for the oil field, and I was the gopher for the mechanics. So like I'd drive them around in the service truck, and we'd work all day, and then I'd go train at 2 different gyms that night and go home. I loved it. And we get there and we get out of the truck, and I go to turn and get out, and my legs don't go with me.
Oh no.
And I fucking ate it. And the mechanic's name was Bud, and Bud's like, Jesus Christ, Quader, you okay? And I'm like, my legs are kind of fucked up. And he's like, why did you come in today? I'm like, my dad made me. And he's like, dude, go fucking sit on that rock and hand me wrenches. And I was like, yes, sir. I was fine. Like, it's okay. I've had worse. Like, I'm pretty good at pushing through an injury. I played football with broken ribs. Like, it's fine.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have a stupid high pain tolerance now.
We're at about
Do you
50
still
minutes.
Fight?
A little bit. I've been teaching people. I've had.
You have unhealed injuries.
Yeah, I've had a hernia for like a year that I need to get. I finally got health insurance, so I can get it fixed.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good start.
I'm gonna go to the doctor soon. But hey, if
We-
your fucker's got like some duct tape or some shit, I gotta patch a hole. But I still like teach people, and I can do relatively most of it without aggravate. I actually wrestled one of my managers the other day because we were kind of fucking around. I got a hold of Paul, and I got him in a good guillotine. And well, I was gonna do a Kimura,
I've-
and then he thought he was gonna muscle out of it, and I was like, "You're gonna give me your neck? Okay, cool. I'll pretend to let go of this." And I grabbed him. He's a sweet guy.
I once choked
He's a
somebody
sweet
out
guy,
in the lobby
told
of
him,
Pizza
but he's a
Hut,
sweet
but
I choked a lot of guys out at parties, but
yeah.
I was the bouncer for my fraternity, so
Well,
yeah. I'm very unassuming. I was bigger back then. I was like 245.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a lot stouter. Now I'm all like lean
Yeah,
and
very
rangy,
good.
like an underfed pit
I
bull.
just met you. I didn't know I needed to be scared of you. Shit.
no, he's harmless.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
fine.
harmless.
Um,
I build my little spaceman.
yeah, you
Yeah.
you build your
I-
little space
Don't fuck with
guys.
I play
Oh,
video
my
games. I talk
spaceman.
shit, and I
Yeah.
build plastic spacemen.
Yeah, we kind of detoured off the whole nerd episode,
But we were very food
Um,
service related.
We were very food service related, absolutely. Which we don't know what we're doing. Honestly, I have no fucking clue what we're doing. We're covering all our bases. I don't think anyone's gonna watch this shit anyway. So
That's the spirit.
You just put it out into the ether. You never know.
Yeah,
you say
no.
this, you get backlog.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, no,
That's really the takeaway. Is you'd be surprised.
Somebody might watch this shit, and if you do, man, fucking, I guess thank you. I don't know.
Did you walk out of Outback?
Oh yeah.
I guess technically, because
This whole episode is just us talking shit about Outback Steakhouse.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we deserve to talk shit about Outback
Well,
Steakhouse. It is not a real steakhouse, guys. Don't get me wrong. I will still go to Outback because they have a wedge salad, and every so often you want a cheap, shitty steak. Don't get me wrong. Outback has its place. You
Occasionally
want
they
it.
have crab
You
leg
sometimes crave
deals.
it, and it is cheap.
crab
But
leg
it is not a
deals.
real steakhouse.
No, get the crab leg deals though.
I've only been to
I
Outback
guess I
Steakhouse
technically walked out.
twice.
I mean, I guess I stopped showing up. Does that count?
Yeah. No shows a walkout.
Oh, I did that at IHOP after I broke my hand, and they told me to go home as I was trying to work with a broken hand, and then
Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, what is that?
yeah,
Like,
my manager made me go home because she was like, I can see you wincing. I'm like, I've still got this hand, and she was like, Quaid,
Bro,
go home
that's
until your
so
hand
much
gets better.
I
Without
just,
going
like,
into
I was
too
supposed
much-
to go in, but I was too high on mushrooms, and I didn't go in.
I would
What?
have fired you in a heartbeat.
I bet you
Outback
would.
wouldn't
I bet
have.
you-
Outback would have given him a knife and been like, keep chopping this broccoli and
I wish
scoop in
my-
this
I wish my
herb
current
butter.
employer would fire
I don't know, like, man,
I
without
think
going
you would
into
have
too
to
much.
shoot somebody in the face before they would fire you. Even then, depending on
I'll
who
do
it was.
I'll do it.
Without going into too much context, like, I mean, I jumped out of a moving vehicle and I fucked up my my rotator cuff. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't go to the hospital or nothing. I just got this, you know.
Bad
Still
move.
haven't done
No,
it.
not good.
I mean,
I don't care.
Jesus
I had to go to the hospital.
But like,
for that.
When you
my
move
point, it doesn't matter. My point is, that I still went to work. Right, I went to work. I did my fucking job. I had one arm, but I was still fucking, you know, like I could work a fryer basket. I could work a spatula. I could fucking and I can work a pair of tongs. I only need one hand. It's fine.
Right.
You know, I just need somebody to set plates down for me.
But have
know?
you ever been on mushrooms?
No,
So
look,
hard you
me
couldn't
and
work.
hallucinogens don't get along. I don't look. I go to work stoned, right? I go to work stoned, but I could not go to work tripping on fucking any kind of hallucinogen.
Good call.
I don't think that it would. Yeah, I think that it would, especially.
I
Don't
think
go
we
to
had a
work.
line cook on acid one time at Shell Shack, I think.
I encountered that at Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
once.
no, he was this kid, and he was like 17, 18, and he would just come in and brag. He's like, I'm on acid right now, and we're like,
Go home.
That's
so
not cool.
you're
You're
stupid
done.
and you suck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's not
He was
good.
not good.
Look, I like to have fun just as much as the rest of us, right? I like, you know, I've had my days, you know, like not so much anymore. I've gotten old.
There's only
It's
so
fun
much
not
we can
dropping
handle.
I'm
acid
like
anymore.
I'm like
Pizza Hut.
mostly sober nowadays. Like I drink and I smoke.
Catch me outside. I might
Allegedly,
try something if you give it to me on a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
but
catch me on the right day, I'll do some acid.
I could not imagine doing some shit like that at work. Like, dude, I ate a cookie once. My buddy,
It was just a really good cookie.
yeah, it tasted
no,
great.
listen.
I think it was a
More
really
drugs
bad
in it.
cookie.
It was in my early line cook days. A buddy of mine gave me this fucking cookie, and he's like, "Hey, don't eat this until like closer to close, right?" And I'm like, "Bet." We were closing down, or we started pre-closing, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna eat this fucking cookie." You know, I'm a fat fuck. I love cookies. So I ate this cookie, and then I forgot all about the cookie. Honestly, just completely forgot about it. I was busy. I was fucking.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
closing down, and so now it gets to time where actually like we're closing down. Service is over. I'm attempting to sweep the floor, and I realize that I no longer know how to work a broom.
Or leg.
Don't know how to sweep. Right? I cannot. I cannot
Like
broom.
you have the broom to the ground.
Yes,
and you're
yes,
like,
it's in
I
my
just-
hands.
I don't
It's
know.
in my hands,
I don't
but
know.
I just don't know how to
Doesn't
broom.
feel right.
Right? And I just remember looking up at my buddy, and he said my eyes were as red as the devil's dick, and
Love Pineapple Express.
he was just like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "No,
No.
no, I'm not."
Why am
don't-
I in the way?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I was like, "Y'all, I think I need to take a minute." I don't need hallucinogens to get me there, dog. You give me a potent brownie and I'm
Dude, yeah.
useless. Honestly,
I
like I
needed
can't beat.
hallucinogens 10 years
Bro,
ago.
I got
now
shit
I
to-
smoke a little too much. I'm out.
I got shit to do. I can't be fucked up. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
See, I'm wondering, what some of these things I used to take early on would even do to me anymore. Like the hardest thing I ever did at work was when I worked at a hookah bar. I would take ecstasy, but even then,
That's-
that works at a hookah bar because I mean, I was a server.
Wait,
yeah,
what
they would
hookah
love it if
bar?
I would like what?
What hookah bar?
Yeah.
Dude, I used to go there all the time.
I met Quaid at my time at the university. We became pretty fast friends when I got hired on as a catering
They
chef
left me
there.
in a hole to die in.
They
You
did.
saved
They
me.
did. They put you in some little shitty corner fucking restaurant.
And they made a
in
bunch of
this
promises
hall,
that they didn't
and,
keep.
You know,
I was my own prep cook, I was
Yeah.
my own cashier, and I was my own line cook until like 3 in the afternoon. Then I have a student
And you were
cashier come in that
making,
didn't
like,
know how to do
fucking-
shit.
Sustainable.
making
That
what?
sounds good.
fucking $14 or $15 an hour.
No, I didn't get the $15 raise until they made me a supervisor.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that
I was
sounds
making
right.
13.
Yeah, that sounds totally good.
I was there from
totally.
6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
I remember he used to come into the kitchen and I'd be doing catering stuff back, and that's when I was doing the university.
We bonded over food and metal.
Yeah, I'd be listening to
Take a
some
big
fucking heavy metal in the kitchen or whatever. He'd come in and be like, "What the fuck are you making?" And I'd just be like, "Put this in your mouth." And I fucking shove something into his mouth. He'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Super sweet.
One time he goes,
delicate,
"Open your
really
mouth," and I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "Baba
No, he likes
ganoush."
it rough.
And I'm like, "What'd you call me?"
You know, like
No, yeah,
it's fun.
we did
you
that,
know?
and then I went back over to the dining hall, and Josh would come over and help us out, or like we'd hang out and talk about catering shit.
do chef's tables.
Yeah, and it
like
was
that.
funny when I was supervising over there, and like technically I was in charge of you, and I found that so funny because I was like, I am so not qualified to tell you what
No,
to
you
do.
weren't.
And so instead I'd be like, Josh, what should I do? Like, help
And
me.
you know,
Josh, tell
that
me what
actually
to tell you.
that actually always felt really good was when people would come to me because they knew that, like, look, despite who I am as a person, like, I know the answer, and if you come to me and you have a question and it's culinary related, like, I can give you a pretty good answer, and if I can't, then I'm gonna go find out.
Those
and
fucking tofu steaks.
I've
You're like,
said
we're
it-
gonna make
I've
tofu steak, and I'm like, we're gonna do what?
I've said it time and time again, like, all I need you to do is your fucking job. And if for some reason you can't do your fucking job, come to me, tell me that, and I will help you do your fucking job.
You've kind of always been very like Starship Troopers about it. Like basically when you brought me
All
to
to my
Community,
part.
he'd be like, he's effectively like, Quaid, I need a grill guy. You're it until you're dead, or I find somebody better. And I'm like, bet.
Basically,
I'll
yeah.
do my part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I'm kind of picking up, it seems like working with Josh kind of helped step you in like the right direction.
Oh, he's 100% been like my role model for cooking.
So
Yeah.
so for you, Josh, what would you say is like what job did you take that kind of helped step you in, like what gave you your leg up? Because I can think of what job it was I took that kind of gave me my
So,
good basis. Like I've had a lot of obviously.
There's only a couple
jobs,
places worth mentioning, right? Where I got my foot in the door of the service industry would have been Barley, right? Which they're closed now.
remember you-
Barley and Board. At the time, they were a fantastic restaurant.
I
That's
remember
now an
how
advertiser
excited
at the
you were
brewery.
to
I
get on
learned
there.
I learned a lot of stuff from that place, and it really, I think that is where I got a lot of my biggest inspiration from, and what propelled me into this. Because also I worked with people who didn't think that I would make it, and I think I've done okay.
Yeah.
So that's why that place was important. But I was still just a green ass line cook. He and I worked together, and then after that, I went. I think it was. I think it would have been the university, because I got hired on as a catering chef, and I even told him, I was like, dude, look, I'm a restaurant cook. I've done some competitions. I've won a couple of little awards. I have a pretty good idea of flavor profiles, and I understand like kind of what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
But I have a lot to learn, and they gave me a shot. Actually, there's a whole funny story about that, but like they came over. I did a skills test, and I did an interview.
I think I remember seeing you do your
They
skills test.
offered me a job, but there's a whole other side of the story. I had a friend named Ethan who was he was essentially my old boss's sous chef. When Colton, the chef who gave me my interview, he went back over there, and Ethan asked him, he's like, "So how'd the interview go?" And Colton was like, "You're gonna really like this guy," and he's like, He's like, why? He's like, he's got more salt tattooed across his knuckles. And Ethan was like, hire him right now. And Colton was like, I am. Ethan and I became fast friends. Our very first event ever together. I was still watching a lot of Letterkenny. Okay, and so we were going up that service elevator to the banquet at the banquet hall, and we're going upstairs, and I said, pitter patter, and Ethan looked at me and goes, let's get at her. And I was like, did we just become best friends?
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
God.
Very nice. Very nice.
But that, honestly, working there, that's where I learned the most, and that's honestly where I really learned that, like, I like catering, I like banquets, I like doing that side of things, even though I'd spent so much time in restaurants, and they're two very different beasts, you know. But that's where I started learning how to make stupid little hors d'oeuvres and fucking
all that fancy little bullshit.
That's
like,
hors d'oeuvres.
That's when my shit
still have
really
that
picked
little
up.
dish that you brought that pancetta over to me.
The panna cotta?
Thank you, panna cotta.
Yeah.
I've been drinking.
You're good.
I'm close enough. But yeah, I still have, and it was fucking amazing. And like, that was very early on where you were just like, dude,
I was just
I got
out.
this job. Check out this amazing little dish I made, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking amazing.
Was it the creamsicle?
I think yes. It was
with the pearls of bourbon.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that was such a cool dish.
You and your
It was.
fucking pearls,
bro. Look,
but
you've never seen that before, though.
The
Like,
point of
it's
the matter
really cool.
is like just
just for context, it was a
like, I've known you for so long, and like it's like you are Chef Josh now, and you
Which is so
weren't.
weird.
And to me, like, it's
Yeah,
very
no.
cool to see, like, to see where for you this is the spot that like really kind of helped put you on that path.
Your boss's child calls you Chef Josh.
he does. That is true.
Like, dude, to me, you're fuckface. So like
That's what he calls me. It's like my pet name.
to see other people refer to you as Chef Josh with
Jeff.
such
Jeff Shosh.
Jeff,
Is that your alter ego? Is that your Tyler Durden, Jeff Shosh?
maybe. Fuck
you know,
it.
to see people refer to you with such respect, it's nice, but it's also really weird.
It's kind of unsettling, isn't it?
It's a little bit.
Like when people like respect me and have some sort of like I don't know.
No, it weirds me out.
bothers
He
me.
calls
Like,
me
you can
Mr.
come over to my
Crawford
house and
sometimes. I just
help
like
me
jerk
cook.
upright because
Nice.
it triggers
Yeah, I
like
do that to
getting a
people
chew.
now.
It triggers like a getting chewed out in football thing. I always got called by my last name because we had Quaid, Cade, Slade, and Clay.
Even though you've been one of my best friends for a long time, like there were times where I did not treat you as my friend. I treated you as my employee.
Yeah, because you're my boss.
You know, and I would
friends
pull
outside
you
of work.
aside and I'd say, "Motherfucker, like no."
And I expected that.
But I always did try to make a point to explain the why. I don't like to hand out orders and just say, "Hey, I need you to follow my orders blindly." Like, no, this is what I need you to do, and this is why.
That's what
You
good
know.
leaders do.
I don't know if I'm a good leader, but I do try.
You're a very good leader, and the fact that you try, like,
you're a good
yeah,
leader.
the fact that you put that effort.
I do
Most
try, and I
leaders
feel
don't even do
I
that.
constantly feel like I'm not doing enough.
And that's the drive, bro. That's the pushing the boulder up the hill.
You
It's
know,
the same
Yeah,
thing
see,
with
that,
like.
that shows you're a good leader. 'Cause
Yeah.
most
Like
leaders
I
don't
want to
try.
do more. I always want to do more.
If you
I'm like,
worry
I'm not
about
doing
whether or
enough.
not you're a good leader, it's the same shtick with like worrying about. You're like, oh god, am I really a good person? I'm like, well, people who aren't good people don't worry about whether or not they're a good person.
Exactly.
So like, you're at least on the right track.
I'm all right.
If you're worrying about it at all, you're a step above 90%.
Hell yeah. Well, shit. We are at an hour and 7 minutes.
Damn.
I have to pee.
Yeah, I think it's time for a smoke break and a quick shot. So I think this is where we're gonna end this one today. Thank you guys for joining me for this.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of
commentary.
More Salt.
Do you have an outro?
Not really, no.
No?
Dude, I have no idea what we're doing here. So this is it. This is the outro.
I don't know. What do you say when you close the kitchen? I mean,
I
we
don't
say
know.
get the fuck out.
Yeah, I
but,
was gonna
like-
say go home.
Yeah, yeah.
Us.
Thank you guys for joining us. Catch us on another one in a week.
And fuck
Peace.
off.
Here's to getting worse.
Stay salty, my friends.
Oh yeah, there's your outro.